Hey all you budding photographers, here's a quick start guide that will give you the basics of your digital camera as well as a few tips to help you get your best shot. There are 3 basic things you need to know when getting started in photography: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. The aperture controls how much light enters the camera's lens. Shutter speed controls how long the light entering the aperture exposes the sensor. The ISO measures how sensitive the camera sensor is to light. Most DSLR cameras come with at least 8 to 12 quick automatic exposure modes that you will find on a knob at the top right of the camera. Those modes include the following. Auto mode. This is the mode you use when you want to take a picture and not think about anything. In this mode, the camera does all the work for you. Auto no flash. This setting still chooses everything for you, but won't pop up the flash. This is good for places where flash isn't allowed. However, remember to be aware of blurry photos. Portrait mode. In this mode, the camera tries to pick an open aperture to throw the background out of focus. It also softens the skin tones in the photo. Landscape mode. This mode chooses a closed aperture to maximize depth of field. It's intended for use in daylight, therefore a tripod should be used in low light. Child mode. This mode keeps photos colorful and vivid and skin tones soft. This mode also tries to choose a fast enough shutter speed to keep children in focus. Keep in mind, this mode is not available on a Canon camera. Sports mode. This mode switches off the flash and the camera chooses fast shutter speeds to help freeze action. Close-up mode. This mode helps you take close-up photos. Nikon chooses a small aperture while Canon chooses a wide one. A tripod is recommended for both. Night portrait mode. This setting combines the on-camera flash and a slow shutter speed to make use of the available light as well as light up the photo with flash. Now that you have exposure down to a science, let's take a deeper look at how to get those images as sharp as possible. The best way to do that is to follow these 8 steps. Focus on the right place. Be sure that you have your focus set to the most important part of the photo. If your subject is not a person, choose the area of your frame that tells the story of your photo. Choose your focus point instead of allowing the camera to choose it for you. That means you should set your camera to a single point of focus. Good light all the time. All cameras need good light in order to focus. The more light you have, the better. Therefore, use any light that makes you happy, whether it's natural or studio lighting. Keep the shutter speed fast. Keeping a fast shutter speed will help keep your photos sharp. When photographing kids or animals, try to keep the shutter speed above 1/200 whenever possible. Depth of field. It takes practice to shoot an open aperture in an attempt to emphasize depth of field. Make sure you focus on what's closest to you and let the camera do the rest. Just say no to focus and recompose. That means don't lock in your focus and recompose a shot. With such a wide aperture, there isn't any room for error. ISO as low as possible. ISO doesn't really affect sharpness. However, images shot at high ISOs often don't look as sharp because of the noise grain that high ISOs show. Keep your ISO as low as possible without sacrificing a good exposure. Lenses can make a difference. A nicer lens will generally give you sharper photos. Kit lenses, which are the ones that come with your camera, are generally made with inexpensive glass. The exceptions to that is the 50mm lens, which works on both the Nikon and the Canon camera. Once you have your camera sharpened, you'll want to work on getting the proper lighting. Here are a few lighting tips to help you get started. Cloudy days provide gorgeous, even light almost any time of day in any location. Just watch your shutter speed and make sure it doesn't get too slow. Shade can be beautiful in any setting. When photographing in the shade, place your subject fairly close to the edge of the shade so they are looking outward towards an area of sunlight. Backlight is best shot in manual mode. Use spot metering with only the face in your frame. Backlight will easily trick your camera's light meter and cause an underexposed photo. Midday sunlight is best shot on manual mode. Avoid bright blown out highlights and deep shadows on the face because they are hard to fix during the editing phase. Side lighting is very dramatic light with more shadow and definition than front light. A reflector can help even out some of the dramatic light if you find it to be too harsh. Front light has your subject face in a well-lit area. This is a simple, soft, even light. This type of light will darken the background since your subject is closer to the light than the background is. Well, that's it guys. These tips are sure to help you get started quickly and guide you along your way. As time goes on, you'll learn how to quickly set up your aperture, shutter speed, and ISO for any lighting condition for a nice set of photos that are sure to make your image look like one of the pros.